guys, what's up? It's Joe Raiti from Raiti's Rides, and as you can see today we're in my Ford Focus RS. I wanted to give you guys a little bit of a sort of like a 2.5 month review of where I am with the car. Right now I'm at about 2,500 miles on the car, and I've been able to do plenty of highway driving. I've been able to do plenty of going back and forth to work. I think I'm getting a good feel of how the car handles. I am going to be doing next month an autocross event, and in April I'm going to be doing a track day event, so I'm definitely going to bring you guys with me and show you what it's like on the track and on the autocross layout, how the car handles. I really love the sure-footedness of this car. It's you really feel planted, especially in the rain. You know, here in Florida, it is the Sunshine State. We still get a lot of rain, and the all-wheel drive is spot on. I like about when you're going to a turn and you go to tip it in, I just love the way the car transfers its weight. Now, it's not as flat as, say, the Type R, but when you just tip the car into a turn, it kind of plants itself, it moves a little bit, plants itself, and you just keep gripping all the way around. It is fun to get the tail out with this car. It's something that definitely in my Type R you couldn't do, and even in my 2015 Subaru WRX STI, it's very hard to pivot that tail end on the car. No understeer whatsoever in this all-wheel drive car, and a lot of it has to do with the technology, with the torque vectoring, and you know, the rear diff with those clutches. I've been driving it aggressively on a few roads. Haven't had a problem with the rear diff heating up. I guess we'll find out when we take it to the track. Maintenance wise, things have been going great. You know, I've checked my antifreeze, everything is rock solid, no smoke at startup. I did check to see if I had the updated head gasket. I could see with my camera that it does have the brass rivet, so that's supposed to be the updated gasket. Now, this car is a late production car. The engine was made in August of 2017, which is a month after that date, but you know, who knows? I haven't gotten a letter yet. We'll wait and see. Right now I'm enjoying it. I mean, here I am on a little twisty road, and it's so fun to drive this car. The sound it makes, I love the shifter. You know, you blip the throttle, you get some blips. Here we go, we're gonna go into a right-hand turn. It just stays nice and planted. The power is nice and progressive, very linear. It doesn't have that hard hit like in an STI. In an STI, you get on the gas, it gets up to about 4,500 RPM, and then the boost really comes in. With this car, the boost comes in around 3,000 RPM, and it just keeps pulling. The gearbox, very, very smooth. Not as short throw as my Type R, but it is super smooth. It's not as notchy as, say, like my STI short throw shifter was. But I really like it. Every time you put your hand down, you know exactly where you're at. And it's a very smooth shifting gearbox, and I really, really enjoy it. And I love that sound. I mean, I just love the experience. It's the whole experience with this car that I'm really enjoying. And like I said, I know a lot of people have been commenting about the head gaskets. I had a vlog where, you know, I got a little bit of a gift from Ford for buying the Focus RS, and all these people were, you know, saying, oh, did they send you a head gasket? Listen, that's why I buy a brand new car. Brand new car comes with a warranty. If you have a problem, they're usually going to take care of it, unless they can tie it back to something that you did. We'll see. I'm just going to keep driving it. The good news is that you guys are along for the ride with me every step we go. I'll give you monthly updates and let you know where I'm at. So far, gas mileage wise, I'm getting about 21 miles to the gallon. It's not as good as my Type R, but you know, what are you going to do about that? It's just one of those things when you're driving a performance car. The steering, I love, even though it has electric steering, compared to the, say, the STI. The STI, believe it or not, still has a traditional hydraulic power steering unit rather than an electric unit like on here. That had great feel. The STI had great feel. I really like the feel on the Focus RS. It doesn't feel fake whatsoever, and it's really precise. Especially, I like to drive the car in race mode with the traction control turned back on and the suspension setting at its softest level, because remember, you have two choices with your suspension setting. It's almost like an extra mode in the car, and for me, it's totally fine driving it every day, which I do drive this every day. It's not too harsh with the power delivery, and it's not too harsh over bumps and whatnot. Now, if I do leave the car in the stiffer setting, it is pretty stiff. You would have to be on some type of tabletop smooth track not to get a pogo stick reaction, but in the softer setting, it's totally fine. So if there was something that I could do to change that, I would add an extra suspension setting in there. I mean, if you're going to have these electronic shock dampeners, that you could have a little bit more adjustability rather than soft and hard. Something like a medium in there, I think, would have been perfect for the car. Paint, the paint is wonderful. The nitrous blue, I get a lot of thumbs up when it comes to the color. It's easy to maintain. It really has a dual personality where it's got a ton of metal flake in it, and during the sun, it looks like a different type of paint job than it does when there's less light out. Fit and finish on the interior, I really like the interior. Is it as, fancy as the Type R? No, there's no faux carbon fiber or anything like that. In a way, I kind of like that, because it isn't real. Plus, I'm starting to feel like this whole faux carbon fiber thing is getting played out. Everybody and their mother is doing faux carbon fiber. Right now, I'm just enjoying the car the way it is. I did add the Ford Performance carbon fiber shift knob, and I may eventually get the trim pieces that my wife has in her Ford Focus ST, because she got an ST3, and it comes with carbon fiber on the door panels and the gauge pod cluster on the dash. Other than that, I mean, the car's been running great. Great gas mileage. It puts a big, huge smile on my face, because that's where I'm at now with cars. It's about how many smiles per mile can you get, and definitely this car puts a big, huge grin on my face, especially when you're going up and down the gears and hearing the sounds of the car and whatnot. Yes, the interior, there are some places where I probably would have used a little bit better quality material, and compared to, say, the Type R or the STI, is a little bit more cramped in here because the dash does come out a little bit more. But it's just one of those trade-off things. Everything's a compromise. There's no perfect car out there. I'm not saying the Ford Focus RS is a perfect car, and I'm definitely not saying a Type R or an STI is a piece of crap. I would love to have all three, and there are some times where I miss my Type R, and there are times where I miss my STI. Who knows what my next car will be? The great thing is that I just want to share this stuff with you guys, so that you could be better educated and actually hear it from somebody that's not biased. I'm not here to sell you the car. I'm not here to make you go out and buy the car. I just want to give you a honest, unbiased perspective of how ownership of the Ford Focus RS has been. Like I said, stay tuned, because we are doing some autocrossing. We are doing some track days. And definitely my wife and I, you gotta stay tuned for in July. We're going over to Salt Lake City to Miller Motorsports Park to participate in the Ford Octane Academy over there. That's gonna be a blast. Her and I are really looking forward to that. Other than that, it's just a real pleasurable car. Another thing I think I would want to change, if you're asking me, hey, what do you want to change? Every time you get in, you gotta shut off the automatic auto stop. What that does is that if you have it on, when you come to a light and you're sitting for a few seconds, it shuts the engine off for better gas economy. I'm not really into the engine being turned on and turned off. I don't care how much extra fuel it saves. So I automatically, you have to push this button here in the center console by the shifter to turn that function off. Another thing, like I said, is when you're going through the actual drive modes, you have obviously normal, sport, track, and drift. When you go, if you want to use track and you want to use it on the road, you need to, if you want the softer setting, you need to push the button on the turn single stock to go back to that softer setting, and then you go ahead and you turn the traction control back on. You actually hit the off button because it's off and it's illuminated on the dash. You hit the off button to turn it back on if you're on the street. You know, I like traction control on the street. It's there to help keep you safe and whatnot. On the track, yeah, go ahead and leave it off, and that's what those conditions are for. I love the steering wheel. I would like it just a little bit thicker, but I like the leather. The leather feels really, really nice. It's a nice quality leather that they use. These seats, now, I know a lot of people are still frustrated with the Recaros that they're using. I really, really believe that these seats are amazing. I personally like the way they are tilted up on the bottom portion. That's how a racing seat is. A racing seat is gonna pivot you a little bit so that under hard braking, you're not sliding forward at all. So it is a little tilted. It squeezes you a lot more. I sat in a 2018 WRX, the special Heritage Edition, the Anniversary Edition, and it had the Recaros. Those Recaros, they don't hold you like these Recaros do. And to be honest with you, in that car, they don't have a Recaro bottom. I'm willing to bet money on that. They have a standard WRX or WRX STI standard seat bottom that comes with the, you know, leather and the Alcantara and all that. It's not a Recaro seat on the bottom part. You could tell when you're sitting in it. It's the same exact bolstering on the sides of the legs. What else? I mean, the car's been flawless, still going strong. I'll keep you guys updated. If you have any specific questions about my Ford Focus RS, leave a comment in that comment section. You can visit my website, raitiesrides.com, and then send me a message directly through there. Please go to my Instagram page. I have all original photos. I'm on Twitter now. Raiti's Rides is on Twitter. And if you want to support the cause, you know, if you are sick and tired of slow people driving in the fast lane and trying to save those manual transmission cars, support the cause, support Raiti's Rides, because that's what I'm all about. Go to bonfire.com. I'm going to leave the link in the description of this video, and you can buy yourself your very own Raiti's Ride shirt. I really would appreciate supporting the channel. I appreciate you guys subscribing. Make sure if you have not subscribed, hit that subscribe button. Thank you for watching. And like I said, like always, I'll see you guys on the next ride.